Okay, I'm back. Today I'm going into this room here. It has what's left of my collections. I used to collect a lot of things like toys and anything kind of unique. And over the years, I accumulated quite a bit, but I also had to sell a lot. I had this room that was filled, and back in the family house, I had almost a basement full, which amounts to about altogether about 3 rooms full of stuff. So I'm down to just a little bit left. I haven't gotten around to moving these items yet, but I've talked about it in past videos, and I decided to let you see what I got left. So let's get ready to look at my collectibles. So this is the room here, and once upon a time, as I said, this room was packed full, and the amount of other items I had would fill this room up twice. So I did a pretty good job in the last probably. I haven't sold anything in probably 5 or 6 years. So this is just stuff collecting dust, but it's actually worth, some of it's worth some stuff. But 5, 6 years ago, I was really heavily collecting, and I loved, buying stuff and sometimes flipping it. And it's a lot of fun. I'll show you what I have left. Let's start off with some hockey cards here. I collected this when I was a kid, and a lot of people don't realize that the NHL had a Kansas City scout team. Kansas City had a team, and the Atlanta Flames had a team, Atlanta. And these are some of the old players that is Bobby Orr. Does anybody remember Terry O'Reilly? Look at some of this stuff here. Now, this is not worth super money or anything like that, but it brings me back to my when I was a tiny little tot, like 7, 8 years old or whatever, And there's the Buffalo Sabres. Let's check out some Montreal Canadiens. Some of you guys want to see that. There's Bob Gainey, Guy Lafleur, Jacques Lemaire, Larry Robinson, Doug Riseborough. Yeah, so I got a bunch of these things here. To somebody, it's worth something. I think I have a young-looking Daryl Sittler in here somewhere. They're right there. Good old Daryl Sittler. Good old Ian Turnbull, right there. George Ferguson. Does anybody remember any of these people? And Boya Solming, right there. Okay. This here is some McFarlane 12-inch Wayne Gretzky's. And I got this shortly after he retired. This is when the Edmonton Oilers uniform and Team Canada. See if I can get that down and give you a better look. Okay. And over here, Team Canada in the kind of visitors uniform, I guess, and Edmonton in the home uniform. Now, one of these here is a variant. I'll have to look it up and see which one it is. The variants, when you're doing any kind of collecting, they'll issue certain models of something, and then some of them they'll put a different color on the uniform, or they'll have something slightly off, and they're worth more. It's called a variant, and that's what people chase. They chase the variant. So anyways, that's some more stuff here. I had a whole bunch of these. This is the last 4 that I ended up with. I think I got rid of about 15 of these things. But anyways, thought I'd let you see that. This is what I have left of some old magazines. Some old wrestling magazines here. Let's see, Road Warriors when they were at the peak. This has got to be the 80s. And this guy was a big name. Dr. Death, David Schultz, if you remember him. There he is wrestling Ric Flair. Okay. And Misty Blue, the IWF champion. Yeah, I don't know if they have wrestling magazines like this anymore. But anyways, these are just kicking around. It's amazing what you find in your home just like buried under a bunch of books and stuff or whatever, you put it away. Here's the Toronto Sun paper TV guides. This is from the 70s. Okay, it's Bo Derek under advertising 10. I have it in some cheap plastic here, but it's working. It's keeping the dust and everything off. This thing here is almost in mint condition, this particular one right here. This Toronto Sun TV guide, Robert Blake. He had some television show back then, but this is the 70s. This here is from, this is a Canadian Tire. This is in pretty well, really good condition. I can't say it's mint, but it's close to mint. 1982-83 Canadian Tire value guide. Well, it's a catalog. If you ever look at the prices in there, you'd be surprised at how cheap things were back in the day. I'll show you a bit more around the room here. See, what I mainly collected was collectibles, which was memories. There are people who collect antiques, and they are interested in a specific period of history. I collect collectibles. This is stuff that people remember. So, for example, if you want to ever get into something like this, let's just say you went and you bought the most popular toy right now that's selling. What you would do is you would buy it, not open it, just put it away. And in 10, 15 years, that thing will be worth a good bit of change, sometimes a lot of money. Because what it is, it's memories. The little girl and little boy who are really happy to see something now, some of them can't afford it now, or they missed out on it. But when they get older and they have money, they'll buy it because it brings back memories. Like, for example, remember, I don't know if she's still popular, like Taylor Swift. You take someone like that, all those ticket stubs, all the hysteria, all the craziness. You take all that stuff there, put it in a nice little bag and tuck it away. When those little girls turn 40 and they'll start remembering, some of them will be collecting, and they'll want a little piece of little history they had when they were little girls. But anyways, I'll show you some more stuff. Take a look at this here. Iron Man. I believe this came out when the very first Iron Man movie came out. This was a kind of promotion. If you press the little button here, it lights up and speaks. But I had to take the battery out because I don't want the battery rusting. But this is what I mean. Get a toy and just leave it in the box. If you can keep even the receipt, it's going to be helpful in selling it later on. And trust me when I say, you'll buy something and you won't think much of it. You put it away, but 10 and 15 years goes by fast, and somebody's gonna be looking for it because it brings back a specific memory. Here's Wayne Gretzky. This is the I believe the 9-inch version of when he was with the New York Rangers. Okay, yeah, this brings back memories is what it's all about, and it makes people feel really nostalgic, Anyways, I'll show you some more stuff. Now, a lot of the toys that I collected a whole bunch in the early 2000s. A lot of these toys I bought from Walmart or Toys R Us. And this is Star Wars. This is the lightsaber from the movie Revenge of the Sith. Okay. And this is the Walmart bag. Now, you see how things become a kind of a collectible and a memory? They don't make these bags anymore. So I want to have to put this bag in a plastic bag to make sure that the ink stays on there. So, 10 years from now to be able to say, oh my God, you guys actually had plastic bags. And that's what the Walmart bag looked like. But that's what these came in. And I paid $19.92 for each of them. This stuff here. And now the problem with Star Wars collectibles is they're greedy. What'll happen is they'll issue out the items for a movie or whatever, and then when they see that it's selling or it's hot, they re-release it again, the toys. So the collectors now, they might be making a little bit of money selling the stuff as collectible, and Star Wars You know, George Lucas and the boys release it back out into the stores again. It's worth nothing. It's worth what it's on the shelf. So you have to wait a long time for Star Wars items to gain traction and make money. Here's an old skateboard from the 70s, that Coyote 2. And this is what an antique looks like. Yeah. Back in the 70s, there was a lot of people just getting into skateboarding. But I don't know. They'd probably either want to collect this or laugh at it. But this is quite the little, collectible here. Original wheels and the plastic. Well, that's how they made it back then. If you're collecting toys, anything that's Batman quality always sells. This is the last Batman item I have, and I tell you, people love Batman. So if you're ever deciding to do any kind of collecting of toys, Batman is a way to go. Make sure it's of good quality and something that's collectible, but no cheap plastic stuff. Here are some fish tank ornaments. This is something you would put down in your fish tank. A little no swimming sign here. This one here has it that you can put the little tube in and it'll blow bubbles, from the little shipwreck here, like that. Okay. Now, you look at some of these things and you go, like, okay, so it's a fish tank ornament. You'd be surprised. The stuff that you look at and you think, well, it's just a fish tank. People collect this stuff. This stuff here is from late 60s, early 70s. And I didn't realize people were into old fish tank ornaments, But that's how it is in the collecting world. You walk by something, you think it's worth nothing, and somebody, or a lot of people are collecting it or looking for it like big time. If you know what you're looking for, you can just walk into the dollar store. Sometimes the dollar store has items that people want and buy. When Frozen was really popular, this stuff was in the dollar store. And I'd just go in and buy it and resell it. Yeah. I have about maybe 3 left. I had maybe 20 of them at one time. And anyways, there are collectibles everywhere. You just walk by. People, let's put it this way. When it comes to collectibles, people are walking by money all the time. Yeah. I think this is probably what, 6-7 years ago maybe? Take a look at this Mickey Mouse clock. And, well, it's a Mickey Mouse clock. Anything interesting about it? Well, it's actually made in Japan. Let's see if I can find where it says on here. But it's made in Japan. It's very old, right down here. Japan. This is when Japan was China and they were making stuff for the world. But anyways, if I slapped a battery in that thing right there, it'll work like a charm. This thing still works, and shows you even when the Japanese was making stuff, they made it well. I think this is from the 60s, this clock here. I bought this at like a Salvation Army. It was just kicking around. I think I paid maybe, I don't know, $1 for it. And it's probably worth about maybe 40 or 50 bucks. Maybe more, I don't know. This is, as a few years back, but anyways. Good old Cuban cigar boxes. Empty. But they're very highly collectible. There used to be a time when the Cuban cigars, the cigar stores, after they took the cigars out and put it in a perfect temperature so it doesn't spoil, they'd take these boxes and toss them in the garbage. This is not one of the ones that's worth a ton of money, but people collect empty Cuban cigar boxes. Sometimes they have Cuban cigars at home, and they want to put it in an authentic box. But I bought this because I kind of liked it, but If you there were a lot of people going in the back of cigar stores back in the 80s and 90s and scooping these things up and making a lot of money. But these Cuban cigar stores now, they know what these things are worth, so they'll sell you the empty box. Cuban cigar boxes. Who would have thought? Pez dispensers. I never knew people collected this stuff here, but it's quite popular. I have a whole bunch that's unopened. I would say these here are about almost 10 years old. I have a box full of them here. But as you can see, you got Batman and Wonder Woman and Frozen, Mickey Mouse and R2-D2. That's some of the ones I have there. And some more Frozen. So yeah, at some point I gotta move all these items, but you see how easy, like you have items all over the place, and it takes up room. I don't have like shelving units and display cases to show all this stuff. I'm just a hobbyist. I wasn't a professional seller or nothing. I was just a hobbyist that like collecting things, and yeah, you'd be surprised. Good old Pez. I have some gum here. But the trick is, if you want a lot of these items to be worth anything, don't open them. Just wrap them up nicely, and as I said, no time at all, 10, 15 years flies by, and you're going to kick yourself and say, I should have bought two. I bought it for, let's just say, 20 bucks or 19 bucks, and 10, 15 years later, you're selling it for 600 or 300, But anyways. Well, of course, good old Hot Wheels. Everybody knows about Hot Wheels. In the early 2000s, they had a retro red line collection of Hot Wheels. See the tires there with a red line around the tires? And, to commemorate the ones in the 60s, the Hot Wheels made back then. But I collected a whole bunch of these because red lines are worth quite a bit, especially if you have the original ones from the 60s. That's currency. I had about 3 or 4 of them, and they were all destroyed and mangled. But I still put it up to see if anybody would want to buy it. They were gone in no time. I think I got for the 4 of them, I got something like almost $100 or something like that. And those cars, they were missing doors. They were scratched up. People collect Hot Wheels. Now, a lot of people collect the ones that are damaged. They use them as parts. And that's the ones from the 60s. Now, these ones here from the 2000s, they're going to gain value probably in another 10 years or so. They'll be, some of these are worth quite a bit. But the majority of them will get their value in about 10 years. Again, don't take them out of the packaging. Just leave them and let them marinate. I got tons. I got a closet full of these Hot Wheels. Probably got maybe a couple of hundred of them that I collected from the early 2000s, the retro red line. This is an old seat belt buckle from the 1970s. This is a GM. This is from my father's car. He had a 72 Malibu. And I don't know why he took this out, but this is the kind of stuff that people do collect. And again, everyone has their reasons for collecting things. Me, I kind of hung on to this because, as I said, I remember that 1972 Malibu he bought. And it kind of brings me back, but you'd be surprised at how many people would actually buy this. They might frame it, or who knows what they want to do with it. But this part right here, saying good old GM. GM might not be around too much longer in cars anyways. They want to start making semiconductors. And so they're going to maybe relinquish the car part, but who knows. Another collectible here. Well, these are my comic books. As you can see, I have a box full of them. I collected this when I was a little kid. I used to buy the majority of them from a place called Memory Lane, right across from Honest Ed's. And I used to collect a lot of first issues, so maybe I'll probably do this separately. I'll show you all the stuff that's in this box here. Here's Spider-Man's first issue team up, Spider-Man team up with the Human Torch, #1, and Submariner #1. Okay, I think this is a Doctor Strange. I believe this is the first time Spider-Man was on this comic book. So anyways, I have a lot of old comic books here, and I'm going to go through them and see, because I know I have a few pricey ones in here. And as I said, maybe another time I will go through the books, the comic books themselves, and let you see what's doing. So I'm going to end it here. So please like and subscribe, and I'll make more videos when I get a chance. Remember, anything Batman sells, and buy things where you can don't open them, don't take them out of the packaging, keep them for a while. Whatever kids' toys, if your kids have toys, just put them away, or if you don't throw out the box, even the receipts. And as I said, this is all I have left in just this little room here. So thanks for coming along this tour, and I'm going to shut her down.